Okay. So today I asked Delfina to help me and ask me some questions about my course on the art of being human in the 21st century. And Delfina prepared several questions about the course and what inspired me to create it. So I'm giving the microphone sort of to Delfina.
So, well, my name, as Andy mentioned, is Delfina. I am going to make some questions to Andy for you to know a little more about the course and its like main objectives. So the first question I am going to ask you is, what was the principal idea of making these 8 chapters of your course?
Yes, okay. So I didn't put a specific number on the chapters that I wanted to have. I was just trying to list and structure various topics which I think are important to cover and to discuss when working on social leadership and community leadership in various countries around the world. Because throughout my various projects, I constantly am in touch with people in different cities and countries, and constantly on the lookout for local leaders, both in the creative sector and the innovation technology sector.
Great. So the other question is, what kind of impact are you looking for with this course? What is the main objective that you are looking for?
Yeah, that's a great question. Uh, I think the main objective is to come up with a new and fresh narratives, collective points of view that we can have to create and develop virtual communities and also offline communities in different parts of the world. And these communities will be connected by the same approach, the same point of view on the way humanity and society, human society, is at this moment in history, at the beginning in the 20th years of the 21st century. Because when you look at what is going on in the world now in terms of narrative, um, in most places we're still kind of stuck in the narratives that were prevalent last century, in the 20th century. People try to apply the ideologies and the ways to understand the world which were relevant uh, 30 or 50 years ago, but are not relevant anymore. They're not taken into account the reality that is around us at this moment, 2022, in the 2020s, with all this technology development, social development, climate change. Yeah, so this is what I want to say at this point.
So you mentioned some topics, but what are the main topics that you focus on in this course and this chapter?
Yeah, okay. So let me say in my answer to this question, the main approach for me in my daily life remains making it personal for each leader or for each community that I am in touch with, and the idea to keep it personal is very important because each individual, each leader, each community are facing their unique mix of challenges and um, kind of calls to action. And it's important to have a basic structure of the course, but then personalize the level to which we go on each of the 8 chapters of the course. So, for example, let's take the question about how rich should you aspire to be, and what does being rich mean? Is it the question of each one of us aspiring to become US dollar billionaire, or being rich means that you are surrounded by people, by social capital, which is helping you with your mental health. You don't have much money, or huge sums of money in your bank account or in your wallet, but you are surrounded by exciting people and you are involved in exciting projects. You have enough food on your table. You have trees around your neighborhood, clean air, and maybe you are actually richer than some of those billionaires.
Yes. So that was a great example of how you are like developing these topics on your course. So another question I will do to you is, are there any lessons about how to face and think about future?
Okay, so about this topic, the way we think about our future is informing our actions at this moment. If we feel pressured to perform in the future to achieve some results, but we don't manage, or at least we don't manage in the next 2-3 months or the next 2-3 years, and we worry about it, it means that we are kind of depressing ourselves, and we are making worse to ourselves and to people around us. So being conscious about how we perceive our future, our individual future, and the future of our cities, communities, our countries, is influencing our reality at this moment today. So this is, again, depending on each personal case. In the course, we would be looking individually on how each participant of the course is thinking about their future, makes a priority for their future. I had this short discussion actually yesterday with some Ukrainian tech people. They have a small company that manufactures electronic equipment. And the question I asked this person, okay, so you and your co-founder, what do you prioritize for the future? Like, you have 2 physical stores, and you have an online store which are performing nicely. For the time being, nothing seems to be a reason to worry, but you still feel like you should be doing more. So one of the co-founders says that I have 2 stores, but I don't have 20. And I want to have 20, or I'm not sure whether I should want to have 20. Maybe I should just create one big, powerful online store and have one warehouse somewhere in the center of Ukraine, and it would make me happy. But then they're still not happy because they also want to export their devices abroad and enter new markets, other countries. But at the same time, if they run too fast, if they start projecting themselves into the future too fast, they can just burn out mentally, and it's not a good thing. So there has to be a balance.
Yes, so it seems like you work like in this course, like with individual founders, for example, or yes, leaders. So it's like really interesting. I think I don't have any other questions.
Yeah,
Um,
it's okay. So from my side, maybe let's conclude by asking you a question.
of
Um,
course.
yeah, so there can be lots of questions. Maybe just one, something to do with Argentina. So, from your point of view, Delfina, living in Argentina in the 21st century, uh, what do you see as some major narratives, major kind of ideologies that are um, uh, taking place in the world today? So, from your point of view, looking at the world from Argentina in the 21st century, what do you see some of the trends, some of the kind of ways of thinking about the future that other people in other countries have? And what do you think of those approaches?
Yes, I think like it came to my mind talking about companies because I live in a town that it's full of companies. Like it's a place that has like a big space for them, and I think that they are trying to imitate like other countries' politics. For example, I am interested in sustainable projects. So and I see that they are having like even more and more projects as other countries that they want to do because they see that customers are interested in that kind of politics. For example, my dad works in a company here in Pilar, the town where I live, and he like makes a product that is going to change the way it's made for for not to contaminate like a lot of in our town because they were like just wasting a lot of human and resources and natural resources, and they are trying to see the way they can use another products to help the environment. So I think that a lot of countries here in Latin America are trying to make with their companies and their cities in a, just to be more sustainable and to help the world to with human and natural resources that we are like wasting a lot, and like a big part of our population it's like um, poor and has economic problems. So I think that maybe just that people maybe they don't have access to water and it's like polluted, and I think that companies are noticing that people really care about the world and about natural resources that are limited. So I think that it's like a thing that I am like watching here in Argentina and too in Colombia and most of it on Uruguay. They have a lot of politics about sustainable projects.
So, just a short follow-up question to that. You're saying that companies see demand from the consumers, from the clients, but who is, in your opinion, creating that demand on the level of the consumers? Is it the media? Is it some local organizations? Is it the school system?
I don't think that media, because here in Argentina, media maybe it's like yes, mainstream, like it's like controlled maybe for with big companies and some areas of the government control like the kind of information that we see on media.
So it's
But
still like from the 20th century. That is like the approach from the 20th century, that big media is controlled by big business. Okay.
but we are like we have like young people, we have Instagram and Twitter, that's where like a lot of people like they give their opinion and they just like have these kind of arguments with for example leaders of the government, so or leaders of companies. So I think that we can see like a lot of this kind of discussions and arguments in Instagram and Twitter from young people.
Yeah, so it's like, again, one of the examples how modern technology, the technology of the 21st century, is also shaping, gradually transforming the society, the human society.
Yes.
Excellent. Great. So I think
Great.
we can finish for the time being.
Okay. Yes.